Welcome into Jags AM this Wednesday. I'm Kainani Stevens. Brian Sexton and John Oehser are with me today as we recap some of Week 1 while also looking forward to Week 2. Now, there was a spirited press conference from head coach Doug Pederson on Monday. We're going to go over some of that with you right now. We'll start out with big thing number 1, closing out. Obviously, that was an issue for the team last year, and it was an issue in Week 1. Had a great first half against the Miami Dolphins, but then couldn't quite get things done in the second half. Doug Pederson talked about the issues.
But you make that play, right? You're in the end zone. It's 24-7 at the end of the third, right? And then you're kicking off as opposed to giving them the ball at the 20. You know, we can stand here and play shoulda, woulda, coulda all day long. Bottom line is, you know, we did not do enough to finish the football game. And these are all the things that as coaches and players, you know, we need to fix. We need to fix and get corrected before this week.
Brian, I think we all played Monday morning quarterback with game 1 of the season because of how things ended. But looking back at things now, is it as simple as, you know, it was that fumble that did everything, or was it more to it than that?
No, they had more time. You know, I mean, in the fourth quarter alone, there was a missed block in the run game on the left side and a missed chip by a back on the right side, both that blew plays up. There was a quarterback misread down the field on the progression. There's enough blame to go around in a lot of places. In the end, this team has to finish. And I'd be frustrated if I was Doug too, because how do you finish? Well, you just do it. You work all week on the practice field. You're in the meeting room. You know what the assignment is. The key to this team is winning one of these close games and reminding themselves, John, that they know how to win a close game. And by the way, the vast majority of games in professional football are won in the fourth quarter by less than 8 points. You're going to see this week in and week out.
Yeah, it's what the league is. And, you know, Kai, to answer your question, yes, I think had they scored instead of Travis Etienne fumbling, I think they win the game. But that was not the entire game. They still led by, 10 points at that point. There was plenty of ways to win the game. When Doug gave that answer, it was very much, I got the feeling he'd answered a few questions, trying to sum up the game, and he said, look, we just have to finish the game. And as Brian said, this is what the league is. If you play 17 games, 11 of them are going to come down to that last 7 minutes. They were really good at that for 11 games last year. They've been really bad at it for 7 games. If they don't get good at it, they're not going to be a good team.
I think a little extra salt in the wound because of how things finished last year. It feels like this has been a streak. So hopefully they can break that in the home opener against the Browns this week. Our second big thing this week is going to be backup plan. We saw a lot of great things out of the defense this week under new DC Ryan Nielsen, but they're going to have to do some work there in the secondary. Tyson Campbell suffering a hamstring injury. That's something he has dealt with before. John, he's going to be out for quite a bit of time, it sounds like, and they're not going to rush him back considering what he's dealt with hamstrings before.
Yeah, unfortunately, now, because it's happened a second time, this is what he is until we see differently, because he's going to be out for an extended period of time. You could tell on Sunday when you watched him on the sidelines, you know, he knew what it was. He felt it before, and he was really frustrated by it. You paid him. He's your guy. I would think that Jarian Jones will step up and have a big role. They did this, Brian, in training camp. They liked DeAndre Prince. They liked Monteric Brown. They liked the young guys. We're going to find out if everybody likes them.
John, I can't believe you left me the easy answer here, because it was yours all last week when we were talking about how the Jaguars would stop the Dolphins. It's going to be on the guys up front, Kai. They've got some talent. John just went through the list, right? Monteric Brown, Trey Prince, Jarian Jones looked good enough early on last week. You're going to throw them out there, but the key to success without Tyson Campbell really falls on the big guys up front. They got decent pressure on a quarterback that gets rid of the ball in a hurry. This week they've got another quarterback who can get rid of the ball, but Deshaun Watson's not playing good football right now. So my sense is that the defensive line can overcome the loss of Tyson Campbell for Ryan Nielsen and his group.
This is absolutely an opportunity for them to seize that moment with Deshaun kind of spiraling as well. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the show and later on in the week. Close things out with big thing number 3. That's O-line play. We've all been discussing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, months probably at this point. Saw some good things from the O-line. Doug Pederson talked about it on Monday.
We as coaches, offensive coaches, felt like our offensive line was taking over the football game. And when you get in that sort of frame of mind, the idea, especially when the big guys are feeling it a little bit, as we say, is you continue to run the football, right? And if that's by design, then that's what we did. If it's by execution, then that's what we did. If it's by our offensive line playing well, then that's what we did. You know what I'm saying?
John, there were a lot of questions about the play calling at the latter end of the second half, and according to Doug Pederson, he felt like the O-line was playing well, the running game was doing well, and they stuck with it. Is that all it was?
Yeah, well, I think the play calling in the second half did absolutely come down to, they had 50 plays for the whole game. I think it was 23 in the second half. I think I have that number right. Look, if you don't have very many plays, it's hard to call very many runs or passes. They clearly felt, and if you watch the game, you felt it too, they could run, and they felt like they could dictate with that. They felt like they were getting it. It was hot, so usually when you have weather like that, you can start leaning on the defensive line and get more of it. It's the old thing, Brian. The offensive line was really good on Sunday, except when it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's very much the position in football that it's always going to be judged on its worst moments. It's the only position like that. But it was good enough, I think, Brian, to give you hope that they can run. Ran better than they did all last season.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's still those moments, and it's supposed to be more consistent in winning time, which in the fourth quarter on Sunday felt like it wasn't as good as it had been for three.
You know, John, people are going to evaluate the line based on 3 plays. The first play, which was a sack on Anton Harrison, and then those 2 sacks on second down and on third down on their final drive. So I asked around, I know you did too, and it turns out that on that second down sack, it looked like Trevor held the ball too long, but of course, people are going to blame the offensive line when the quarterback is thrown to the ground. Turns out there was a progression mistake, right? And perhaps Trevor held the ball because he made the wrong read. It still looks like the offensive line failed because we don't know that during the course of the game. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Anton Harrison looks like he totally whiffs on Jalen Phillips on that third down sack, but come to find out, in asking the question, the back is supposed to be over there chipping. Anton Harrison had inside position, thinking he had help on the outside. There was no help there. So it looks like Anton Harrison had a bad day. I even thought it looked like he had a bad day. Started the game with a sack, ended the game with a sack. Not so, but we don't know that until we have a chance to talk a little bit. I think the offensive line is going to be just fine. Do you need Cam Robinson to stay on his feet on 4th down and 1? Yeah. Do you need Brandon Sheriff to hold up in the running game on 3rd down in the 3rd quarter? Yeah. You need guys to play individually a little bit higher. But there's real potential for this offensive line to be a solid unit in the not too distant future.
I hope we can expect a better game out of Anton Harrison. Obviously not what we saw from him last year, so hopefully we can see a good bounce back this week. Stay with us here on Jags AM. Coming up, we'll do a little this or that after the break.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Surf Pro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. Surf Pro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice.
Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. Attention Northeast Florida businesses. The Jaguars and Corporate Traveler are teaming up to bring you the Rising Business Spotlight Program. Get your business in front of 65,000 passionate fans at each Jaguars home game. It's your chance to shine with prime in-stadium exposure, an interactive activation space, and a powerful social media spotlight. Be one of the 6 selected small to medium-sized businesses to be showcased this season. Connect with new audiences like never before. Visit corporatetraveler.us/Jaguars. Don't miss out on this game-changing opportunity with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Corporate Traveler.
Jags fans, see Fields First, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com.
This or that. This or that.
Welcome back to Jags AM. We're going to do a little this or a little that. Let's talk about the game, and we'll talk about kind of how we're looking at things going forward. Obviously, things didn't go the way we wanted in the season opener, so hopefully how we can change those things around. We did see good things from their running game early, but obviously issues with both. Travis Etienne putting the ball on the floor, which you never want to see, and then also Tank Bigsby not picking up some of those blocking plays, which has been an issue, kept him off the field last year. So what's a bigger concern to you guys? Is Etienne going to be a fumbling issue again, or is Tank going to figure out how to do these coverages so he can stay on the field?
Look, I'd be stunned if Travis is a fumbling issue all season. And I would say that because of this. I think he had 5 in 2022, which was his first year. Had none last year. So I don't consider Travis a fumbler. I think the other day, I think he was getting ready to go and cover the ball. And I think Holland made a great play.
It was a great play.
So, look, I was a big John Riggins fan back in the day. Probably my favorite player of all time. Wasn't a fumbler. Guess what? He fumbled occasionally. Yeah. So you're going to fumble if you carry the ball in the National Football League. I think they're going to have an issue, the coaching staff, and I don't mean a problem, but an issue. It's a one-back scheme. Both of these guys have strengths. I think the question for the running backs to me is clearly Tank needs to run the ball. And Travis, to me, feels like a guy who's going to get a few yards, and a bit, needs carries to get that pop. How do you find the hot hand? How do you find the right balance? It's a good problem to have, Brian, but I think it's going to be something that they have to figure out how to get these guys in the game at the right time.
Well, you asked the question, what's more concerning? And to me right now, Tank is more concerning because he was the back on the field in that key situation at the end of the game with 4:22 left to play. If you only put Tank in on running situations, the defense will adjust, right? And if you can't trust him, and by the way, the coaches went out of the way to say they did trust him based on the way that he played in training camp and in the preseason. So he was on the field late in the game because they trusted him. But if he doesn't shore that up, if he doesn't lock that down, John, then he's not going to be on the field in key situations. He's just going to be the reserve back who gives them a breather in the second and third quarter. But when the game's on the line, it's going to be number one out there.
Yeah, because it's I'll call it pass-first offense. But this offense needs to pass to be effective.
Yeah.
So a back has to be able to function in the passing game better than he did in that big situation
But
Sunday.
you saw Bigsby off the 4-yard line, goes for 26 on the drive where Travis fumbled and gave them a position where they could now throw the ball. They could do what they wanted. He's a really good football player and an important part of what they want to do. But he's got to shore up the assignments in protection. Otherwise, they can't trust him to be on the field.
Something to keep an eye on in the second week as they take on the Browns this week, see which way they kind of go with that, who gets the ball more. Also, 2 out-of-character games, I'll say, Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk. They've been wonderful for this offense for the past couple of seasons. Both of them very sure-handed. Saw definitely one drop from Christian, maybe another questionable one. Evan didn't get any really his way, or had a couple his way, but didn't come down with them. Who do you think bounces back first? I hope they both bounce back at the same time, but who's most important? Who do you think will get it right
Well,
first?
if both isn't the option, I'll go with Christian, because Miami took away Evan, right? I mean, they did everything they could. They understand. He caught 114 passes the year before. He is one of the quarterback's favorite targets. He's the safety valve who, by the way, can make a big play down the field too. So my guess would be that the Browns will again try to take him out, and that will open things up for Christian Kirk this week. And the next week we'll see the Bills try to cover Kirk, and it should open things back up for Evan.
Yeah, it's an interesting approach Miami took, because they did want Evan out of the game. He had been so good last year, but I always maintain you don't want Evan catching 9 passes a game. I'm sure Evan would like to catch 9 passes a game, but you would rather have that be more of a safety valve. Last year, to me, it felt like he was the running game, the passing game, all rolled into one. I'll say, because you said Christian, I'll go with Evan as a bounce-back game, just because I don't think he's going to be limited to 1 for 5. I think they would like him to be about a 5 for 60 type guy most of the season, because if he's getting that, then that means, there are weapons in this scheme that you would rather have going downfield than Evan Ingram. So I'd say he bounces back. I don't want to see him bounce back to 100. I love Evan. I'm sure Evan would love 100. But for the offense's sake, bounce back to that middle where you're sort of the engine and the option on third down.
5 key catches, probably 3 that convert important third downs. I mean, 5 for 60, and I would agree with you. I think that's where he is in the sweet spot, making important catches.
I think an outlier game for both of them, just seeing how sure-handed and trustworthy they've been so far. I have to
That won't happen again.
Hope we don't see that again. Stay with us here on Jags AM. We'll look around the AFC South, see what else is going on within the division.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval. Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
To aim higher, run faster is what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Surf Pro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. Surf Pro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
Attention Northeast Florida businesses. The Jaguars and Corporate Traveler are teaming up to bring you the Rising Business Spotlight Program. Get your business in front of 65,000 passionate fans at each Jaguars home game. It's your chance to shine with prime in-stadium exposure, an interactive activation space, and a powerful social media spotlight. Be one of the 6 selected small to medium-sized businesses to be showcased this season. Connect with new audiences like never before. Visit corporatetraveler.us/Jaguars. Don't miss out on this game-changing opportunity with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Corporate Traveler.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an Everbank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
For 11 years, Dreamfinders Homes have been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all of the available inventory, and go Jags. We welcome you back into Jags AM on this Wednesday. We're going to look around the AFC South a little bit because it's never too early to keep an eye on what everybody else is doing. 3 of the teams 0-1, one team 1-0. Start out with the Titans, who fell to the Bears, a team that did not score an offensive touchdown, but still won the game. So that's another team that the Jags are going to play. They'll play them in London as well, so good to keep an eye on both of them. But Titans seem to be having some issues.
Well, they have Will Levis, right? And Will is a strong-armed quarterback. Weren't we just talking about those guys, right? I mean, he can really throw the deep ball.
Right.
But they signed Calvin Ridley, who doesn't run precise routes. I mean, that when they did that, I was like, wow, he had 50 yards receiving, I think, the other day. I don't think they know what they are. They were, with Derrick Henry, a pound the ball, bring the safety to the line of scrimmage, go over the top to DeAndre Hopkins or whoever the big receiver was. And now they are a different type of team. New coach, new scheme, new players. I think they're a work in progress almost all season long as they try to identify what they do well.
Yeah, I'm going to sort of do a broad brush over the whole division. If you're looking at it objectively, the first week played out sort of exactly as you'd expect. The Texans, who I think most people think are the best team in the division, won a game that it felt like they were in control of, pushed over a good team in the division, the Colts. The Jaguars, frankly, were a 9-8 team last year. They had a chance to beat another team that really didn't beat anybody good last year and beat a lot of so a 9-8, 10-7 team. They played a close game, so you feel like, okay, well, Jaguars 8-9, 9-8. That's how they played the other day. And then the Titans are struggling. You know, they're the one team that overhauled things in the offseason.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would be sort of trying to figure it out. So sort of what you'd expect. The shame of it is the Jaguars had such a chance to feel like they were not what I just said, right? So they've got to start winning some games and get back to where they're competing with the Titans. I mean, not with the Texans. For this game, I absolutely think the Titans feel like a team that are going to be trying to figure it out. Will know 5 or 6 weeks in if they're going to figure it out in time to matter this season.
Is the quarterback the guy, or are they going to lean on the running backs? The defense, has some really good players on it, but I
think they're trying to shift to where all of a sudden they look like all other franchises where Levis is the guy.
Yeah.
But so far.
Yeah, because they played caveman ball and just beat people up.
A lot of young quarterbacks in this division, a couple other two. C.J. Stroud, of course, we all know very well. Also, Anthony Richardson back. We didn't see a ton of him in his rookie season, so this is the first we're kind of seeing him start over his rookie year again. A couple of touchdowns rushing, as we've seen. Is he going to figure things out exactly? Obviously, the Colts are probably the hardest team for me to try to pin down in this division.
Well, Anthony Richardson, so far, 4 games, is going to score a couple of touchdowns running, have a spectacular play in the passing game, and then you wonder where the consistency is outside of that. Which, look, I'm not criticizing when I say that. He's in his 4th NFL game, or 5th, whatever that number is up there. You would expect, based on his scouting report coming out, for him to be that right now. Can he evolve to where he's more than that? To me, that'll define whether or not the Colts are really, really good with the kid, because he could be, or, like I said, a team that pushes a team like the Texans, but winds up 9-8-ish.
That touchdown that we just saw, right? The one that everyone's playing on ESPN and is all over social media, that comes up every once in a while, right? Because he's a big, strong-arm guy, and he threw it up and let the guy go get it. What I want to know, since those big plays don't happen every Sunday, can he stand in the pocket on 3rd down and 8 at his own 45-yard line and read the defense and make the correct throw?
Well, that's what they want to know too.
Yeah, we don't have any idea. And everyone's always dazzled by these dramatic, huge plays, But John, you used the word consistency. Can you do the same thing over and over and over? Can you be steady? Can you take the plays that are there for you? Or do you always have to try to make this dramatic, highlight reel play in order for your team to win? Steady beats dramatic any day.
Yeah, and that's what most teams that don't have it are waiting for it at the quarterback position.
Questions for the Texans. Obviously, we know how talented they are. C.J. Stroud, what they've surrounded him with. What's the Achilles heel going to be for them? Because I feel like C.J. Stroud gets sacked a lot, and you want to say, oh, we can do that, but then he makes you pay the next play. So, what's the I'm sure this is many people's objective, trying to figure out what the game plan is for them. But how do you kind of take him out?
Oh, I think the Jaguars did it last year when they played him over there. You assume that he's going to get some. You let him not take over the game and control it. They pressured him well. So I think you sort of take that page, and I didn't see this game, so I don't know how the Colts tried to defend him. But we saw last year in Houston that this team can be beat if you sort of contain C.J. Stroud and don't let him be the entire game.
You see the play, we were talking, but he hit his knees, and he got up to his knees and threw a pass for a first down. He's tremendous because he has that football instinct.
He's really good. He has
that
very, very good
factor. And D'Amico Ryans is one of the bright young coaches in this game. So he's well coached. He gets how this game is played. It's tough to make him make mistakes. I don't know if there is an Achilles heel for him. It will be injuries, I would think, along the offensive line that protects him that might make him vulnerable.
We'll see in a couple of weeks as Jacksonville heads to Houston, I think week 4?
Yeah, week 4.
Week 4. So we'll keep an eye on that. Stay with us here on Jags, and we'll talk about what's coming up the rest of the week.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year 1 in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year 1 and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit dfhsalesevent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's dfhsalesevent.com.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at ServPro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. ServPro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval! Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
To aim higher, run faster is what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Jags fans, if you want customized Jaguars furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com to browse all the customizable options. Zipchair is furniture for fans. Also, this weekend's game, Everbank, advantage you. Make the most of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars.
Chris, cover 2 right here. You want to play some cover 2? All right, here we go.
Shotgun for Tua Tagovailoa. Steps up, he's going to get hit. He's going to get sacked. The Jags got him. Eric Armstead, the free agent, got him.
Hey! Hey! Yes! 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 Good job! Out of baby! Out of baby! Good job, man! Good job, man! Out of baby! Big time! Big time! Big time! Out of baby! Out of baby! Big time stop!
Ryan Nielsen was having fun on Sunday. The defense played really well. I can't fault him for that. No matter what happened at the end of the game, the defense did play very well. Their first game under Ryan Nielsen in that scheme. He's mic'd up, so that'll come out later this week, and we'll get to hear all of the things he had to say.
Those guys like him. They like playing for him, John, because he is the real deal. He is 100% authentic. What you see from him in that is what you hear from him on the practice field, what they get from him in the meeting room. I mean, he is a high-energy guy who loves ball, and it's clear that the guys who play for him are enjoying it.
Yeah, they certainly played faster, communicated better, very encouraging start for the defense. Played well enough to win the game.
Yeah.
Brian, he treats every day like game day.
No doubt.
Listen, he looked at me when I said, it's opening day, tell me about a special day. He's like, it's one of 17. And I thought, I really like him even more now.
All right, we're going to see another one of the 17 when they take on the Cleveland Browns in the home opener. Tomorrow on Jags AM, we'll discuss and go in depth about what they're going to face off against with the Browns. See you tomorrow.